or it's not processed, or they tell you they couldn't see or they didn't see it, and you're wondering, but I sent it to your email, like, why can't you see it? Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Bella. I hope the Lord has been good to you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And if this is the first time I'm all up on your screen, hey, hi, how are you? Have you clicked the subscribe button? Please do so right away and join the blessed family. God bless you. Today is a very straightforward video and also very requested. I have had so many people from Instagram to Facebook to my WhatsApp wanting to get information about how to practice or start internship, or otherwise known as residency, in some countries here in Jamaica. So if you would like to know more about this information, please keep watching. Okay, for the sake of those who are just joining us here for the first time in this blessed family, I am Dr. Bella. I am a general practitioner and health advocate here in Kingston, Jamaica. Today I have 5 simple steps that you need to undergo in order to start your residency or internship here in Jamaica. Please stick around and watch this video to the very end, because I have a bonus point for you that will top this video up, that will be the most important thing you're going to hear from me today. Number 1, you need your certificate and or transcript. As a matter of fact, they require both. They want your transcript and they want your certificate. You will be applying to the Ministry of Health, Jamaica, and one of the requirements will be to present your certificate, something that says your name has been certified as a medical doctor, you've gone through the school and the school has seen you, they've deemed you fit to say you're a medical doctor. That particular one, I know you know what I'm talking about. That big one, that fancy certificate, they need it, and not the photocopy. They need the original. They need the original. They need your transcript, something that shows your academic performances, from your basic sciences to your clinical sciences and every other thing in between. They need all of that. The additional things that you might add to what you already have might be, if you already have a BSc, maybe a bachelor's a BSc, a Bachelor of Science in a particular course from before you went into medical school, or even after medical school, or even after the BSc you had done some type of master's program or even PhD. Whatever you have, you can add that to the certificate and your transcript as well. They also need your job letter, your CV. Your CV tells them who you are, your experiences, what you're good at, and what you have to offer them. So all of these are needed. Before the second point, visit the website. Just visit the website of the Ministry of Health, Jamaica. Once you type it on Google, it'll come right to you, but I'm going to put the link right below, not a link, the description right below this video, because I don't remember it offhand right now, but it's quite easy to locate. And once you click on it, you're going to go through the contact section of it. Just look for the email and some contact numbers that you will need, because once you are able to do that, get that information out of the website is not going to tell you much about internship or like how it's done or whatever. All you need to do is just get the contact information or the email from that website, and then I can tell you the rest of the things that you need to know. Before I move on to the next point, in my opinion, it is better to have someone on the inside. So you've heard about internship in Jamaica. Perhaps you have a friend here, someone. Perhaps you have someone here. It's better that you have someone here to give you more insights, especially if that person is also a medical doctor, if that person has also done the same things before. And I feel like a lot of people do not have, which is why I am making this video. So many people have reached out to me. I've at this point I have lost count. I actually was making a joke about this earlier today that at some point I'm probably going to have to start an agency to be able to bring people here to be able to do this, because so many people are trying to come in and there's no information out there at all. And so this is why I am doing this video. But aside me, if you have someone else who has done this before, who is a medical doctor or a nurse or something, they can have one or two information that they can give you that can help you in your journey to coming in here to begin your internship. But otherwise, if you do not have, please write down everything I'm saying in this video as well and use that to do your applications or to go ahead with your process. So yes, visit the website, get the contact information, the email. So the third thing you're going to do after that is you're going to send your CV and your transcript and everything. Send them. They might ask for maybe your birth certificate or something and an application fee. You're going to send all of those via their email. Usually they ask you to send it via an email. But here's a caveat to it. You need to send it at an appropriate time. If you send it at the wrong timing, it's possible that that information will get lost in transit, or it's not processed, or they tell you they couldn't see, or they didn't see it, and you're wondering, but I sent it to your email, like, why can't you see it? All right, so entries for doctors, especially doctors who have graduated from the University of West Indies, which is right here in Jamaica, and the environs, which is other places like Barbados and Antigua and wherever they have UE. Those places, including the main headquarters here, the main campus here, they have a time where they bring in medical doctors after they graduate, and that is usually the January batch and the April batch, January, April, or April to May batch. So the time that they only accept international doctors, solely international doctors or majorly international doctors, is the September batch. So for example, you finish your school, you're looking to internship and you're trying to apply, but you're trying to apply around, say, February of the year, right? And the next application is in April. It is very possible that your application might not be processed for that April because you're not a graduate of the University of West Indies and its environs, which means you don't have a direct affiliation with the the system here. So if say you're coming from another medical school, a completely different medical school, and you're not an MBBS because that is their own system, you would have to wait till September to be able to get in. There's a caveat to it again. Sometimes persons are able to get in the January batch and in the April batch, and of course grossly in the September batch. The reason is because for the January and the April batch, you must have submitted your application. Say if you're doing January, you must have submitted the December or the November before the January. So you must have submitted way earlier so that your application will be processed. And if it's the April, you must have submitted around February for your application to be processed for April. And if it's September, you must have submitted around July, August, latest first week of August for your September batch to come in. The reason is because they have a lot of applicants and they have a lot to shuffle through, so they need the applications to come in on time so that they can start the processing on time. Should in case they have like a pass rate for the UE student who come in around January and April or May, so thereabouts, and their pass rate is really, really high, the chances of getting into that batch is very slim because they have a lot of students to bring in as medical doctors. However, if the pass rate was low and they had a lot of failure or failure rate, depending on the performances of the student, they will have a few slots left to pick candidates from outside slots. So persons who have applied from like last year but they're not going to be able to get in because they are international doctors, so they have to wait till September batch, but their application is still pending, and such persons are following up regularly. They might get lucky to be placed in that January or April batch. It's not their batch, but since they need doctors, they will put you in that batch and you'll be able to start. Do not apply for your internship month they're going to be picking people. January, April, September. Don't say 1st of September I'm going to apply. Don't do that. If you do that, you're wasting your time, because they're not going to process that application, and that application has to wait for the next batch. So if the September batch is what you applied for, but you applied too late, then they won't answer you until the year after, which is probably the January. And like I said, the chances of getting into that batch is very slim, because that slot is majorly for the locals or the people who have graduated in their system. Or the fourth guide is that you may require, or you may be required to write the CAMC exams, which is the licensing exam that is done for all of Caribbean international medical doctors, so to say, or doctors who are coming into the system. The CAMC exam is usually something that international students have to write to be able to have their license here, to be able to practice fully here in Jamaica. It's already part of their system, especially the UE graduates and its environs. It's already part of their system as the exam. But since you are coming in as an international doctor, you may be required to write that exam, just as USMLE for the US, PLAB and Canadian board is the same thing. This CAMC is in two parts. It's part 1 and part 2, and this is their board exam. Now, in my days, I was able to start internship without having to write CAMC 1, but I was made to, they told me clearly by the time I was processing my entry into the medical field that by the time I'm done with internship, before I move on to the next level, I must write part 1, part 2, and I must pass both to be able to have my full license and continue my medical career. So just have that at the back of your mind. If you are waiting and you haven't gotten through with internship, you can use the opportunity to write the CAMC examination. That boosts your application, because they will see that you've already written either part 1 or even both. Sometimes most persons write just part 1, and then because for the part 2 you have to be in the country to write the part 2. So most persons from outside will have written part 1 before they come in here, and they continue whatever they're doing, or their internship or observership or whatever it is, and they are able to write CAMC 2 and become fully licensed. And so that will boost your application. The number 5 guide that I always tell everyone that I've ever spoken to about this is pray for favor. During my days, or even before, they didn't have so much of international medical doctors applying, so the chances of getting in was less tedious or whatever, and it was okay. But now they have so many people from all around the world trying to come in, so pray that the Lord will single you out and favor you. And it doesn't even matter even if you have masters or you don't have masters, if you've written CAMC or you've not written CAMC. But like I said, those are definitely good criteria. But regardless of that, God can still favor you. So God can still favor you. So pray about it and let God direct you and let God lead you the right way. Now, the bonus point that I have is that if you've been applying from outside, you've been sending emails, you've been calling, but nothing has really been fruitful, you've not really gained so much, you haven't really gotten a good information regarding your application or a way forward, the reason or the major reason is possibly or probably because you are not here in the country physically. Here they pin applications to faces. In fact, there is a small chance that they will even reply you from outside. Like there's a small chance that when you send them emails, they will reply. There's a small chance that when you call, they will pick up your call and answer you and tell you what you really need to hear. There's a very small chance of that. So the best way to actually follow up on your application is to actually come here and go to their offices physically and say, my name is so 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 and so, I have applied for so 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 and so, and I'm waiting. What's the way for what's going on? That's the only way you can get cogent and really important information from some of these personnels. And the reason I believe is because they have so many applications that come in day out. And think about it, if you have someone who is coming in physically to follow up on their application every day and saying, hey, my application, what's going on? Please, I'm ready. When can I start? When can I go ahead? And you have someone who is also sending email, maybe from Korea or from Ukraine or from Australia, or they don't even know where you're sending your emails from. It takes a lot to answer that person than the person who's actually in front of them like this physically. Because by the time they process your application and your application falls through, then you'd have to go through the visa processes. And trying to come here, they'd have to write letters and they'd have to send it to immigration to say, oh, you're coming in here and stuff like that. And whatever your country of residence or your whatever application you're doing, they have to write letters and stuff like that. And I don't think they want to go through that with anybody really. I don't think they really want to go through that, because there are people who are right there, right in the country, right inside the country, who once they are able to get their internship, the rest is easier. So do yourself a favor, get a visiting visa. That's the least you can get. Travel down here and follow up on your application. And if you guys would like to know how you can extend your stay while you're applying, while you're waiting to get into the system, what to do during internship and how to manage yourself and stuff like that, please put it down in the comment section below. I will be so happy and so glad to answer those questions with another video. And this is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you've learned a thing or two about how to get into this system. And if you know someone who is interested in this, please send this video to them. Send this video to medical students, doctors. Please send this video to them. Thank you for sharing, thank you for liking, and thank you for subscribing. If you're a new subscriber, if you're an OG like me, I love you sis, I love you bro. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.